The reason I like to have these recorded and that I've done that in the past is because they do build on one another. Um, so if you do happen to miss a class, you have that recording. And so not that if you do miss a class and you didn't get a chance to see the recording before the next class that you'd be completely lost. It's not like that, but you would miss a little bit of continuity from class to class because I don't like to throw too much at once because energy healing is it's an intuitive practice that takes time. And so I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And so we just take little bits at a time and you take in what you need today and you just kind of disregard and know that at the right time, the energy healing will be able to serve you in the way that it's meant to. So anyway, my name is Brenda Carey, first of all. Let me just briefly introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm a yoga teacher, a Reiki master, and one of the things that brought me out of a couple of different dis-eases, I kind of hyphenate that, dis-ease. One was an autoimmune condition that I had for several years. And then also I have metal rods in my back from scoliosis surgery from when I was 19. So I understand physical pain very well. I also understand the ups and downs of going through immune issues. But I have come out of that really resilient. And on this side, I can honestly say that those experiences have been my greatest teachers. And one of the reasons why I love to teach this work is because it worked for me and that I know it can help you in whatever capacity you need or whatever healing that you are searching for. So how this class kind of works is we are a group. I love working in small groups, especially women. Not saying I just only do women, but I love to hold that sacred space for each person. So whatever you're coming in with, please know that that is okay and it's perfect just the way that it is. I'll have each one of you just introduce yourself briefly. And just for my own curiosity's sake, because I also kind of gauge kind of where the group is and how much is known about energy healing, how much is not. Just kind of give me like a brief, like why you're here, like in just a sentence or two, because not everybody obviously signs up for an energy healing yoga class. So it usually piques a particular interest. So, and just so you know, we are not recording this part. Anytime that you share, we trim that out. So the recording doesn't include anything we share at the beginning. And then I usually have a little bit of sharing time at the end to help integrate the work that we've done. So we cut that out. So just so you know that that is for privacy's sake. So anyway, I'll just, well, I kind of already introduced myself, didn't I? But I will say this, energy healing became really curious to me when I started studying with Donna Eden. She's a rather common name now in energy medicine. I will bring some of her information next week. When I was really interested in being able to heal when Western medicine wasn't serving me. And I was addicted to pain medication at a pretty young age because of the back surgery. And I know I needed something else. And so this was, her work was like one step forward. And since then I've blended, you'll see I don't have like just one thing. I blend different energy healing techniques from Chinese medicine, from Ayurveda, and some of them may work for you. And some of them you're like, that didn't quite work for me. And that's okay. I just bring different tools in and you get to choose what works for you. So just say your name and then kind of what brought you here in a nutshell. Who would like to go first? Awesome.
And beyond that, I take care of my baby a lot to make sure it's a lot of extra energy and whatever years old I am.
Years young. Yes, years young.
So I'm quite tired. It's been a really rough last month. My mother died on Christmas Day. your new body pain somewhere. Just this is a really a time to work my because I'm always giving it all.
Yeah. Namaste, Marianne. Thank you. Is it okay if we kind of go down the row? Are we good with that? Okay.
My name's Gina. I just moved here from Quad, and on Quad, I have had autoimmune issues on and off. It was very upset and thyroid issues. I guess that's why I was looking at anything that's more of that. On Quad, it's not very many resources. But I started looking at going in book and stick and hard.
Yes. Yes.
And when I was doing yoga,
Lauren Walker?
Lauren, yeah.
Yeah.
Only online or Google, you know.
Yep.
But so one of the things about my parents is energy yoga. And this was literally last night when I had that, I was like, yoga, and it was cute, and the class started today.
Yay!
That's amazing. And
Awesome.
So I'm stoked to see how you blend it. Because
Yep.
I've been trying to do this, and I mostly have Apple yoga, and I'm trying to like blend it with one and with my own.
Mhm. Okay.
So
So you'll have some familiarity because I've studied with Lauren.
yes. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina. Namaste.
Hi everybody, my name is Shanna. I'm here because this past couple of years and a half, I've been working on with and I went to a ceremony in October. It was really, I got a lot of information, and when I left and I went back to my life, I felt like this energetic door just being shut, and it's really impacting my relationships, and it's been kind of hard just to feel like all the work that you've done is being lost, and feel like it's stuck in my patterns and childhood and everything that you've kind of been raised with. And so I've been going to like, psychedelic vision therapy, and I just like I spent last week in photos with some friends, and it was just like so clear that like going from my head to my body like isn't useful anymore, and is like an old exercise of like kind of reason about what's happening in my body. And so I just thought it'd be something more powerful to do. It has been so much more powerful to do like from my body to my brain. Like that's where I get most of my learning from, is like listening to my body.
Mhm.
And so I'm just interested in like working with the energy, just kind of like moving some of the heaviness and like opening and expanding a little bit, rather than like contraction that I'm doing for a few months now.
Namaste, Shanna. Thank you.
I'm Andrea, and like a lot of what you said, I've just been super stressed out and having to figure out like my energy is being scattered. I don't know a lot of these things, but I don't certainly again.
Great. Thank you, Andrea. Namaste.
Hello, my name is Shelby, and I've been doing yoga, physical yoga, and haven't really ever stored energy yoga in my brain. And I feel like in that sense of being it feels a little disjointed. I use yoga just for physical fitness. And I've done lots of different therapy, talk therapy, and feedback. I know that the therapy for a while, I'm so tired of talking. That's the same thing. So I feel like maybe turning inward is maybe a better, or maybe not better, maybe a different solution than having to explore before, rather than just like maybe this will work, maybe this will work. Kind of like giving myself some time and space to focus. And this is really the most in my life, like where I'm at, job, and with everything else, that it's really felt like an option that I feel like I'm brave enough to explore. And I happen to come to this class isn't one that I usually have mental when I schedule, and I have things to go around on Thursday. and we have to change it this semester. And I'm here today. So it was kind of like a small
Awesome.
serendipity that
That's how it works. Oh, yeah, that's how it works. Thank you. Namaste, Shelby. And last but not least.
Okay, I do not know anything about energy healing, and my husband found this.
Yay! I met your husband actually. He was so sweet. He's like, I signed my wife up for you. Oh, that's awesome.
But I did have a lot of people in this room. I'm a teacher, I teach fourth grade, and I teach at probably the most high one school in town. It's very like I have a lot of secondary trauma from that. And I have a 1-year-old, so I really identify with the amount of exhausting that it takes and hard physically. I feel like I'm still healing from postpartum and I'm starting to think about the second baby. So yeah, I'm really glad to have this space for me to learn a lot of new things.
Good. Thank you for being open. Namaste. Remind me your name again one more time. Casey. Okay. Before we that's okay. I'm like, maybe I missed it. Before we officially get started, I'm asking, obviously you don't have to send to allow me to have your email. I will send you a short practice to help keep with the continuum. I'm hoping to have a second one recorded. I'm working on that. Takes me a while to get around to it. And then I will also send you the PDF of the handout, because if you're anything like me, I have the handout and I'm like, where did I put that? Like, so I will just send it to you. So if it gets lost somewhere, you have that. So just your name and email, please print clearly. That I will also place you on my email list. It's very informal, but it keeps you up to date on some of the other energy healing programs and classes that I do in Fort Collins and online. But again, it's optional. Oh, is it on top? No? Sorry, it must have fell. Awesome. So that will just be going around. If you want to fill it out later, that's totally fine. I don't want that to distract you from what we get to do in class. All right. So I'm going to tell the camera, this is where we officially start recording. So Jake, start recording. So if you just look at your handout briefly, I love to have visual images of energy because it gets into kind of a esoteric, what's called like subtle body type of feeling that I don't know if our culture really acknowledges. So a lot of this work, energy work, is tapping into your own intuition. And I can already tell every single one of you is in tune with that, but we don't always give ourselves permission to really feel into that. I don't know if our society just doesn't favor that or thinks, oh, we have to rationalize that, we have to talk it out all the time, we have to, figure it out. And this is a very different form of medicine, if you will. So let's just start at the very beginning. What is an energy body? And so you see the image there. And there are two types of fields of energy. You've got the one that kind of it stems from the heart, goes up and over the head and goes out and around and up through the soles of the feet. Sometimes this is called your aura. So you exist beyond your skin. Always remember that. Your energy, yes, is physical movement that has this sort of donut-like shape pattern that moves up through you. In fact, the Heart Math Institute that I studied with, they claim it stems from the electromagneticity of the heart and pulses up out through the crown and basically creates this whole field around you. So keep in mind that you have your field. There are other people's field all around you. If you're around a lot of children, that's a lot of field. If you're just around people, depending on how healthy or what I use coherent their energy field is, you may absorb some of that depending if you are more on the empathic side or if you've learned to sort of create a boundary or a shield for yourself so that you can remind yourself, I don't have to take it all in. I think that's one of the things that I needed to learn, especially through an autoimmune condition, that I don't need to digest everyone else's emotions and feelings, that they can have theirs and I can have mine. So today's class really focuses on feeling this torus field, if you will. That's this kind of movement. And we do this a lot already in yoga, right? So we're already tapping into it. I'm just giving you kind of some language to associate it with. And then in the traditional yoga energetic system, they have what they call nadis. And we're not going to go into this too deeply, but think of it as a crossover weaving pattern. So if you notice in the body, there's this in and out. This shows the two main nadis, which are called Ida and Pingala. That's just, but know that that's a masculine side and a feminine side, and it weaves in and out. So we are meant to have a softer feminine side with an equal, more masculine, powerful side. Yin yang is another way that you can think of that. Our society does not usually operate in a crossover type pattern. It is, and we're very forward moving, or we're thinking a lot about the past and the movement's going back this way. So to create what I call coherency, or if you want to call it flow, or just like feeling in your body, we create both of these movements. We're going to be doing a lot of this today, this torus field movement of up and out, thinking of your aura, and then also these crossover patterns. And we're going to be doing that with our limbs and our torso to get our bodies to feel what that's like. You don't have to rationalize it in the mind. You will go at a pace that serves you. So if you already feel like life is going really fast and you don't really need to do that, then you'll just take it a little bit slower pace. If you're like, no, I actually could use some energy, I could actually use a little more stimulation, then you can pick up the pace. So know that it's kind of an intuitive exploration of what coherency feels like to you and your energy body. Okay. So those are the two patterns we're going to work with today. So these are the key points to remember. Energy, which is you, physical, your thoughts. Thoughts are huge. Thoughts create belief systems, and that is energy. We're going to be working through that in future classes of releasing some of those limiting beliefs that keep our energy stuck or stagnant. But we are designed to move physically, mentally, emotionally, and we need to have that space to move. So our yoga mats are the perfect playground for that. You give yourself permission to take up as much space. You could even go off your mat if you like. I know these last 2 years, it's been very confining and we have all these divisions of we have to be so far apart. So some of us are releasing some of that as we move, but know that your mat is your space and you get to take it all up and fill it up with whatever energy thoughts that you want. And you get to own that. And there's empowerment in that. And then we talked about the two fields of energy patterns. So remember, you are designed to move and you need space to move coherently within your body and within your thoughts. Sound good? Questions before we get into some movement? No? Okay. So you don't necessarily need this right away. If you like the image for just to look at it, let's start in a seat, and we're going to start with one of my favorite ways to start to bring in some calming energy. So we're going to place, usually traditionally in yoga, we'll start here and we'll get to that later, but I'm going to have you put one palm on your forehead. And what you're doing here is often you are drawing blood forward into your forebrain. And so often when we get stuck in sort of nervous thinking patterns, the blood draws back to more of the back brain. So we're encouraging the blood, which stimulates our rest and digest, our parasympathetic nervous system, to come into this forebrain parts to help us calm down and realize it's okay to be here. Then we're going to take the other hand and you're going to place it kind of like thumb on one side of your collarbone and second, third finger on the other side, and just a gentle pressure down. This is your acupressure point. It's called K27 or kidney 27. This is considered your emotional release or emotional reset. It is a feminine water element. So as you're holding your forehead and bringing that energy to your forebrain to relax the nervous system, you're energetically grounding your emotions with this kidney point. So while we do this, we're going to do 3 really deep, deep breaths. Take it inward, inhale, and then exhale. A couple more times, your own pace. Inhale, exhale. Final time, inhale, exhale. And then just release the hands, bring the palms together. Vigorously rub the palms. Create a little bit of friction and heat. If it's comfortable, close the eyes down if it's not already, or just a soft gaze. But I want you to really get into sensation. And once you feel like you have a little bit of heat built up, I'm going to have you separate your hands about 1 inch apart. And just hold that space there. This is the acknowledgement in Reiki. We call this our universal life force energy. This is the acknowledgement that we are more than just our physical body, and we extend beyond our skin. If you'd like, you can begin to separate the hands a little bit more, still feeling that sensation. At any point you kind of lose the sensation, go back and rub the hands together. Create a little more friction if you need. Maybe move the hands a little bit further apart and just kind of notice how it feels without judging it. Or if you're like, gosh, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Don't worry. Yes, you are. Part of this journey is just trusting in that inner voice, that inner knowing. And then from here, place your hands on your heart. So slightly left, because I want you to feel your heart beating. So often when I get stuck in my head with a lot of to-do lists or thoughts or worries or whatever it is, I place my hand or both hands on my heart and I connect back in. And we remind ourselves that this beating heart is our own unique rhythm. I don't have to control it. I don't have to make it happen. And it is energy coursing through my whole body. Acknowledge to yourself that you are a miracle just as you are. And if you'd like to set a healing intention for class today, feel free to do that, but make it something simple, not too much. Word or a phrase or an image. Deep breath in. Cleansing breath out. And then blink the eyes open lightly. And I'm going to have you take one of your hands and place it at the thymus gland. So your thymus gland, you've got your collarbone here, and you've got this little notch. So right below the little notch is your thymus gland. I want you to rub this gland. Your thymus is responsible for regulating your endocrine system. It also gives you a little immune boost. And I don't mean that just in a physical manner. So yes, physically, yes, but also mental and emotional. Think of it as the integrity of your immune system. So often in many times in my own personal yoga practice, I will either rub my thymus gland, or you can even gently tap it if you want it more activating. And I say my intention 3 times. So I invite you to do that. So as you're breathing deep, say your intention, either tapping or rubbing your thymus. Doesn't matter which you choose, rubbing or tapping, just kind of whatever intuitively feels best. And it's like sealing it in. One more time, deep inhale. And an exhale. Excellent. Bring your hands down by your side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Here's your torus field. Fill up all that energy. Exhale, hands to heart with your thumbs. Touch the thymus gland. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, sweep. Extend. Exhale, draw it down. And thymus touch. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to flip it the other way. So sending the arms up. You're going to flip your palms out and pretend as if you're smoothing your aura. And then bring it back to heart. Bringing it in. 2 more times. Inhale, sweeping up. Flip the palms, smoothing out your whole energetic field. Drawing it back into the heart space. Final time. And hands come to heart center. Deep breath in. Cleansing breath out. Excellent. Let's come onto our hands and knees. We'll begin a little bit more movement. Coming into your tabletop position. So we've set this intention. We've rubbed it in to our thymus, little immune boost. Let's just come into some basic cat-cows to get our spines moving. So knees are about hip width apart. Spread the fingers nice and wide. This is your connection to the earth. Make it nice and grounding. So on the inhale, drop the belly, shift the gaze forward. Whenever you're ready to exhale, round it out. Tuck the chin into the chest. And I want you just to move at your own pace. Cat-cows begins to enliven the spine. Our spine is our energetic connection to how supported we feel in this life. When it's flexible, when we're able to move it well without pain, the body gets the signal to the mind that it is safe and I am supported. Couple more rounds of cat-cow, really exaggerating through the spine. If you want to move side to side or make rolling movements, that's perfectly fine. It's just optional. But the idea is to connect your breath with your movement so that the breath starts the movement. Oftentimes when we are in a state of stress, even really low grade stress, we're not breathing full enough to get enough oxygen to our brains. So be mindful of how you breathe. Even out both sides if you're moving from side to side. And then come back to your tabletop. Let's bring the knees wide, the big toes in, press back child's pose, forehead to the mat. Let the arms come long. Settle the forehead down. If it doesn't easily reach the mat, slide the block underneath. This is your grounding posture. Come back to your intention. And then just bring your mental awareness to your thymus gland. So often we don't even necessarily need to manipulate and tapping. You can just bring your awareness there. And again, with your forehead touching the mat, you're bringing the blood flow to the forebrain to relax the nervous system. Couple more deep breaths. This is a gentle practice, but again, feel free to intensify if needed or slow it down. What I say are suggestions. Exhale fully. On the inhale, rise on up. We're going to come into that infinity pattern or that crossover pattern. So you're going to bring your hips to one direction. So think like a sideways figure 8 or an infinity. Draw it up and then over to the other side. Yes, it takes a little bit of coordination and it doesn't have to be perfect. But we're getting into some mobility into the hip joints. So think as if you're drawing an infinity symbol. We'll start in one direction. Doesn't matter which direction you choose first. And then finish up your infinity sign with your hips in this direction. And then we're going to go to the other direction. And you'll find there's usually one way, whether we're doing infinity symbols with our arms or legs, your body will favor one direction over the other. And that's okay. And it might take a little while to get the other direction as smooth. We are actually helping our left and right hemispheres of our brain coordinate and balance them out. Finishing up this infinity symbol to this direction. And then eventually find your way back to the table. Nice. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, reaching toward the sky. And we're going to weave it underneath the left arm. Right side of the head comes down. Left arm can extend toward the top of the mat. Draw your awareness to the back of your heart space. I want you to feel as if as you inhale, you're expanding the back of your heart. It's also behind your thymus gland. Creating space. One more breath. On the exhale, left hand slides back in front of the face. Sweep the right arm back up, reach toward the sky, extend. And then exhale, right hand comes back down. And then we'll go to the other side. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Weave it underneath the right arm. Left side of head comes down. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. Breathe so deeply you feel your shoulder blades expand. Exhale, soften. Slide that right hand back in front of the face. Inhale, sweeping that left arm back up, extend. And then exhale, left hand comes back down. From your tabletop, let's come into puppy. Walk the hands out about a foot in front of you. Keep the hips high as you send the forehead down either to a block or to the mat. Draw your belly button just slightly up, just to protect your low back. Remember, breathing into your back body, sending the message that you are supported, you are safe. Come back to your intention. Remember, your thoughts are just as powerful of energy as your physical body. Exhale it out. On the inhale, press into the hands. Walk the hands back about halfway. We're setting up for downward facing dog. So tuck the toes. Send the hips high up and back. We're going to just give ourselves a few breaths here. Now, this being said, if downward dog feels like a little too much, feel free to come back to child's pose. Make some movement, pedal the feet. Shake out the head. Make sure we're not holding any tension in the neck and especially the jaw. The jaw is one of those places that can hold just some very subtle tension. So open the mouth, move the chin side to side. Give yourself one more breath in your down dog. Settle in, so feet come to stillness. And then lift the heels, bend the knees, and just baby step your way up to your hands. We're going to hang in a forward fold. Bend the knees deeply if you need. Arms could be long, or you could ragdoll the arms. And as you exhale, I want you to feel like all the weight of the world is just rolling off your back. Your shoulders no longer need to carry it anymore. Shake out the head if your neck feels tight. Crown of the head is toward the earth. Couple more breaths. Exhale it out. On your inhale, either arms hang long or place the hands on the thighs. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. And you're going to arrive at the top of your mat in mountain. If you have any props, we'll just move them off to the side of the mat. You may want your blocks, so just maybe have those at the top of your mat. You may or may not need them, kind of up to you. But come into a mountain pose, feet are about hip width apart. Pick up the toes, spread them, and set them back down. So you feel really rooted and grounded. Roll the shoulders back and down, close the eyes just for a moment. Imagine that torus field all around you. So think of that like sphere or donut shaped all around you. Fill it with a color, favorite color of your choice. So we're going to begin some slow salutations using that torus field and then some crossover patterns into our practice. And as always, have fun. Like, I know sometimes we get like, I call it yoga face. It's like I'm doing yoga. Like, we have to enjoy our movement. Otherwise, we just won't do it. So if anytime you want to just like crack a smile, it's totally okay. I'm really good with that. That's great for boosting serotonin levels anyway. So add it in if you'd like. So let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Feel all that energy around you. Exhale, pull it into the heart space. Say your intention. Now we're going to reverse it. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Flip the palms, paint your aura out, smoothing it out. Drop back into the heart. Good. Inhale, sweeping out and up. This time we're going to exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, send the right leg back. So you're going to set up for a big lunge, high lunge, engage your core, and use either your hand to help lift your torso up or use your core to get there. We'll start hands at heart center. Root down through that back ball of the foot. Hips are squared forward. Exhale. Engaging in our torus field again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, flip the palms, paint your aura. Drop back into the heart. Reverse, inhale, down and up. Exhale, hands to heart. This time, inhale, sweep the arms up. Hold here for a breath. And then the left hand comes down. You're going to lean slightly to the left. Bottom arm reaches back up. Right arm comes down, lean slightly right. Inhale, bottom arm reaches up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pull your intention in. We're going to spin this back foot coming into a warrior two. This is where you give yourself permission to take up space. So often I see warriors and they're like this. So widen your stance as much as is comfortable. I don't want anyone to create any pain. Send your arms out. Feel your space. You own this space. What do you want to fill it with? Exhale. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Fingertips reach up to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, warrior two. Own your space. Feel that power. One breath here. Exhale. This time, hands to heart center. You're going to straighten the front leg. You're going to keep turning to the right. So you're in like kind of a wide goddess squat, heels in, toes out. Come over here for a minute so you can see. Here's where we get to use my feet are a little slidey. So I'm going to have to use a more narrow stance than I normally would. Otherwise, I'm going to slip out. So here's where we're going to use that crossover or infinity pattern. So you're going to sweep it to one side, think Tai Chi, and then sweep it to the other side. You inhale one direction, exhale at the other. And again, the pace is what feels coherent to you. We're going to start in one direction to begin. So this is kind of getting out of your, am I doing this right? But just feel into it. Inhale one direction, exhale out the other. Side to side with the knees. Take it at a pace that feels right for you. You're bringing in both those nadis, feminine and masculine energy into balance. Do one more this direction, then you're going to have to do the other direction. So reverse the direction. So over and up, over. So it's just your opposite direction of your infinity pattern. If there's like a brain hiccup there, no worries. I remember I could do one direction really well and then I'd reverse the direction. I'd be like, wait, I can't do it quite as well. That's normal. Don't worry about it. Few more times in this direction. Feel your breath, move the energy. And then you're going to make a big letter X with your body. Lengthen the legs, extend the arms. Your big letter X, remind yourself, I deserve to take up space. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two to the front of your mat. Pivot your feet. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, send that energy up. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands. Frame the front foot. Let's step up, right foot meets left. Inhale, you're gonna rise on up. Exhale, hands to heart, thumbs press into the thymus. Again, you can either press, rub, or tap. Say your intention 3 times, breathe it in. Exhale. One more time. Good, torus field. Inhale, arms sweep down and up. Exhale, hands to heart. And reverse. Inhale, arms sweep up. Flip the palms, smooth out your aura. Hands to heart. Good. Inhale, sweeping up. Now exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, the left leg takes a big step back this time. Setting up for your high lunge on this side. So really root down through that back ball of your foot. Hands could be at heart center, lift your torso. Settle in here. Feel your energy ground down through the soles of your feet and the back ball of your foot. Hands at heart center to begin. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Nice. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, flip the palms, smooth out the aura. Hands to heart. Reverse the direction down and up. Exhale, hands to heart. This time, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, right hand comes down, leaning right, just a little bit. Bottom arm reaches back up. Left arm comes down, lean slightly left. Inhale, bottom arm reaches back up. Exhale, hands to heart, pull your intention in. Spin the back foot, warrior two on this side. Line up your front heel and your back arch. Nice. Remember, you deserve taking up space, arms stretch out, shoulders are soft. So if you have to kind of roll the shoulders down to relax them first, bend into that front knee as much as possible, draw it towards the pinky toe. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the front leg, fingertips will reach up toward the sky. Exhale, warrior two. Hold here for a breath. Inhale, straighten the front leg, fingertips reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Hands come into heart center. We're going to turn to the left, so you're straightening the front leg, pivot the feet so the heels come in, toes come out. I'll come over here. Look at all that space you're taking up. Yeah. See if I can stick better here. Maybe not. I got slidey feet today. So we're going to bend the knees here. This is called goddess squat, by the way. Own your goddess, whatever that looks like. Slide side to side if you'd like. From here, inhale, big letter X, take up space. And then from here, we're going to do one arm at a time in that crossover movement. So place right hand down on right thigh, sweep this down and around. So you've got that same infinity sign. Slide it back and forth, your pace. So if you're like, I think I just need something more conservative, that's totally fine. You're like, nope, I need to like kick up some energy. That's totally fine too. Somewhere in between is great. One more time this direction. Now reverse the direction. If there's a little brain hiccup, no worries. It will get easier, I promise. One more time around. Big letter X, take up space. And then other side. So left hand comes down, sweeping forward. Infinity sign with this side. Coordinate your breath. One more time this direction. And then reverse. Finishing up this side. Big letter X. Pause here for a moment. Close your eyes down if you're comfortable. Feel the energy you've created. Feel that tingliness. Feel that rooted down energy in the soles of your feet. This is connecting to your body. Stay for the inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior two to the front of the room. Flip the front palm reverse, send it to sky. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame the front foot. This time we're gonna step back. So you're coming into plank. And then however you would like to, you're gonna lower onto the belly. So if you're in a chaturanga mood, you can do that, or you can just softly lower yourself down. From here, coming into Sphinx, bring your hands up by your face. Slide your elbows underneath your shoulders. Now, if this is too much for your low back, just feel free to bring your elbows more forward. Just be mindful the shoulders don't crunch into the ears. So here's the fun thing, and I promise you no one's looking at you when you do this. We're gonna practice our eyes. This is really good to balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. So just as if you were doing that, infinity symbol with your arms, you're gonna keep your head still and do it with your eyes. Now your head might move a little bit. So while you're in Sphinx, you're just going to pretend as if there's like a pencil on your nose and just kind of move in an infinity pattern or a sideways 8 with your eyes. It might feel kind of silly at first. And then you're going to reverse. Pay attention if the reverse is a little more challenging. Just means you have some neural pathway hookups to create between left and right hemispheres of your brain. Nothing bad. Just the brain learning. Finish up that infinity to this side. Let your eyes close for a minute. Let that all relax. See that infinity symbol in your mind's eye. Make it a favorite color of your choice. Big inhale. And then exhale, lower down. Bring one ear to the mat. Arms can be long by your side. Melt in. Feel your heartbeat against the earth. If you want, option to bend the knees, tick-tock the feet from one side to the other. Just an option. Couple more breaths here. Allow your feet to come down. Hands come underneath the shoulders and then press back. And I'll have you decide. It could be child's pose or it could be downward facing dog. You decide which posture you feel more like doing. Something more restful would be child's pose. Something more energizing would be down dog. Just something to help you assimilate this crossover pattern and torus field pattern that you are creating in your body. So when you embody this with physical movement, then the mind also starts to come into more coherent thinking without being attached to the next scattered thing. Deep breath in. Exhale out. And then walk your hands so they're underneath your shoulders towards you. We're going to come into kneeling just for a moment. If you want to kneel on a block, that's perfectly fine. Or if kneeling doesn't work, you can come into cross-legged. So from here, let's come back to placing one hand on the forehead One hand on the collarbone, so thumb is on one side, second and third finger on the other side of the collarbone, gentle pressure down. Our collarbone points associated with kidney meridian allow us to release emotion, which is the water element in Chinese medicine. So what are you willing to release and flush out fluidly and smoothly? What do you no longer need to hold on to? Deep breath in. Exhale out. And then remove your hands. Place one hand on the thymus gland again. They're rubbing thymus gland or gently tapping. Rubbing is more soothing. Tapping is more energizing. Coming back to your intention and noticing, do you still want that intention? Or has energy moved through and something else shows up for you? You've cleared a lot of stagnant energy and got some of the new energy moving and fluid, and just kind of notice, is something else coming up as a new intention, or you still feel like you need to work with the one that you said at the beginning of class. Deep breath in. Release it out. And then bringing the hands down, pause there for a moment. And to continue releasing this weight of the world on our shoulders, let's just drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And then ever so slowly, half neck circles, dipping the chin downward. And you're just moving inch by inch. Physically, we can hold a lot of tension in the neck and upper back and shoulders. Oftentimes that isn't really even ours. When we hear the saying of the weight of the world on our shoulders. But we also can begin to create a boundary of not needing to take it all on. Just moving through the neck for a few more breaths. I would encourage you to pause at any spot that feels like really sticky. Maybe there's a spot or two that is a little more tight than the others. And can you hold in that one place and breathe deeply? And then when you feel complete, bringing the head back to neutral. Rolling the shoulders back and down, letting go. Again, inhale, shaking anything out. From here, we'll meet on our backs. We're going to do a few more postures on our backs. I like to have a blanket underneath my spine just for support. That also has to do with the metal rods in my back, but that's really optional for you. Once you find yourself on your back, if you'd like, you can hug the knees into the chest. Maybe massage out your low back, any tension that is still hanging in there, and make little circles if you'd like. And then bring both soles of the feet down to the mat. Knees are bent. Hug the right knee into the chest. Interlace the hands at either the knee or the shin. And I want you to really draw that right knee in deeply, so you feel the support of your low back against the earth. I'm getting a little bit deeper into the hips. So we're going to externally rotate this right hip, coming into figure 4. So the outside of your right ankle comes onto the left thigh. You can keep the left foot planted, or you can lift it up and hands can weave through, interlacing either at the shin or the hamstring. If it feels safe for you, close the eyes down. Bring your awareness back to your thymus gland. Just bring the awareness there. Breath is still smooth and fluid, deep into the belly. Couple more deep breaths. If that left foot is lifted, bringing it back down, release the hands. Uncross that right leg. Before we get to the other side, let's just tuck the knees from one side to the other a few times. Evening out from side to side. Knees come back to center. Hug the left knee in this time. Give it a good squeeze in. Interlace the hands. Draw it in tightly. Feel that compression of your thigh to your belly. Feel the low back settle down into the earth. Remembering I am always supported. And then figure 4 on this side. So externally rotate the left hip. Outside of left ankle comes onto the right thigh. Right foot could stay planted if you'd prefer. Or you could lift it up, interlace the hands through, clasping at the shin or the right hamstring. Give yourself a few breaths here. I know for some of you, like, yes, I've done figure 4 so many times, but this is an ideal posture to feel your spine against the earth. Sense that. Mother Earth always supports you. She is your nurturer. She grounds you. We get to release some of the tension in our hips, whether that's physical or emotional. You get the benefits of both in this posture. Draw your awareness to your thymus. Breathe in your intention. When you feel complete, releasing the hands, bringing that right foot down, uncrossing that left leg. Again, tick-tocking knees from one side to the other. Evening out from side to side. Knees come back to center. And then I'm going to have you extend your legs long as if you're kind of like standing. Lift your arms up overhead. And I want you to take up as much space of your mat as you possibly can. So pretend as if someone's pulling you in opposite directions. Your low back may pop off. That's fine. Deep inhale, breathe in, extend, extend. And then exhale, we're going to curl up into a little ball. Bend the knees, hands come on the knees. If it's comfortable, forehead comes up to the knees. One breath here. Feel the contraction. And then inhale, extend long again and expand. Extend the arms up overhead. Lengthen the legs. Reach, 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 reach. And then exhale again, curl up into a little ball. Bend the knees. If it's comfortable, forehead to the knees. And then exhale, release. Bring the feet down. From here, I want you to bring both legs up toward the sky. If you want a little bit more elevation, you can place your block underneath your sacrum as an option. You don't have to, but if you want, you can take the block on the first or the second height, set it underneath your sacrum, which is by your tailbone, and then bring the legs up. This allows the blood flow to come into the heart and the head. It's a nice gentle inversion. So it's really good for insomnia. Let's calm the nervous system down. And then we're going to draw our awareness to those 3 points again. So bring your awareness to your thymus gland. Color it with your favorite color of choice. Color is energy. And then draw your awareness to your collarbone on each side. Remember, you can emotionally release what no longer serves you. Draw your awareness to your forehead, allowing that calming sensation of the blood flow coming into your forebrain. Couple more breaths. And bend the knees in. Slowly set the soles of the feet down to the earth. If you are using a block, just lift the hips up enough to slide the block out. Bring the hips all the way down, slowly, slowly. Connect your spine back into the earth. Again, notice. And then final wringing out, if you will. Bring your feet up so you're sitting in an invisible chair. So you have this 90-degree angle from your hips to your knees to your ankles. Arms come out to a T. Your knees will float to the right side. And if your knees don't easily touch the ground, take that block and slide it underneath your knees, just so you have support. Your gaze can be up at the sky or over your left shoulder. Melting in here for several breaths. Exhale fully. On your inhale, use your core lightly to bring your knees back to center. Pause there for a moment, and then knees float over to the left side. Again, if you need a block, slide it underneath your knees to rise up the floor. Arms are out to your T, either gazing up at the sky or over your opposite shoulder. Settling in, noticing when the mind has wandered. Decide if that is where you want your energy to go. And if it is, perfect. And if it's not, you draw awareness back to your breath. Exhale it out. When you're ready to inhale, use your core lightly, bring the knees back to center. Your knees a good squeeze in, and then prepare for happy baby. So bring the knees wide towards your armpits, flex your feet, reach down with the feet, and then bring the soles of the feet up toward the sky. You could rock side to side if you'd like, or you could remain stationary. And then final acupressure point. This is one of my favorites for grounding. To have you bring your soles of the feet in toward one another. So if you don't even need to turn your feet as much, but in between the big toe and second toe, you're going to draw a straight line down to the edge of the ball of the foot, and there's a little divot there. So it's between the big toe and the second toe on the sole of your foot. I usually use my thumb, draw it down so it's at the base of the ball of the foot. You can do this on each side with soles of the feet together. This is your another kidney point. This is actually your K1.4 grounding. So again, between big toe, second toe, draw all the way down to the base of the ball of the foot. Use your thumbs or maybe second finger, depending what's more accessible, to press in. You can make little circles there if you want. It sends the signal. Starting to ground or to root yourself. This is great before bed. And then on an exhale, when you are ready, release your feet, allow your legs to come long into Shavasana. If you want to use any props for these last few minutes, feel free, or cover up with any article of clothing. Once again, being aware of your spine against the earth. Reminding yourself that you are supported by all of her gifts of nurturance. Being willing to receive what you need. I will call you out with a chant when it is time. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself. I am enough. I see myself in joy and love. I know myself. I am enough. I am enough. Home Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Drawing in a deep, deep breath. Coming back, placing one or both hands on your heart beating. Connect back in. Remembering the miracle that you already are. And in your mind's eye, see that torus field and those infinity patterns around your body, all within your body. See it lit up in your mind. Color it any color you wish. Remembering the expansiveness that you are. Remembering the potential that you are. Sending in your intention, saying it to yourself as you bring in some small movement. And then bringing in a little bit bigger movement. And with that bigger movement, eventually rolling to your favorite side and pausing there. In the traditions of Shavasana, the idea was to energetically release anything else that no longer serves you. So you're releasing an old self with an old belief system that limits you. Do you no longer want to hang on to? And can you send it down, down, down? When you feel ready, you rise to a new self, and we'll meet in seated to close out class. We'll place palms together, thumbs come to heart center. Once again, feeling that subtle energy all around you that connects each one of us. May we remember this feeling so we can gift it to others. This calm, grounded, coherent energy. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. And stay right where you are. This is the end of the recording.